Hey budget gardeners, Vita Loca here. Join me today as I show you my process for dividing yarrow. So let's go. Yarrow is considered a perennial here where I live in New Hampshire, Zone 5B. It comes in a lot of different colors, and the one that we're going to divide today is a white colored yarrow. You can see that this yarrow plant has gone by and has gone to seed. Well, I made a video recently showing you my process for how to collect the seeds from a yarrow plant. What I can do is put a link to that video down in the description below in case you're interested. This plant is a volunteer plant here in my garden, and I let it be here during the season. But now that it's the end of summer, it's a perfect time for me to go ahead, dig it up, and divide it. In fact, most perennials benefit from being divided every 3 to 5 years because it maintains a nice, healthy, vigorous plant. And it's a great way for you to increase your stock in certain plants in your yard, to move around, or to give to family or friends. You normally want to divide perennials in the spring or the fall. It really depends on the plant that you're trying to divide. So always do your research before you divide a plant. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be cutting back all of these flower stalks because we really don't need them at this point, and we want the plant to put its energy into the roots. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be digging up the whole entire plant using a large shovel. Now, if you wanted to divide yarrow, but you didn't want to take out the whole entire plant, you only wanted to thin it out, what you could do is take a large shovel and you could just dig straight down into the piece that you want to pull out. And once you've dug out that corner or that section, then you could pull that out and move that somewhere else in your landscape, and then backfill the soil back to the base of this original plant that you're keeping in your landscape. But for us, we're going to go ahead and dig this whole plant up. So let's go ahead and get started. We're just going to use regular hand pruners, and the plan is to follow each flower stalk down to the base and make our cut there. Did you know that yarrow makes a wonderful cut flower? It sure does. And if you love to cut your own flowers for either yourself or for sale, then you should definitely have yarrow in your landscape. We're going to use a large shovel to dig up our plant. And I want you to notice just how beautiful this foliage is. It almost looks like a fern. It's very, very pretty. When it comes to digging our plant, we want to make sure we're not digging too close to the crown of the plant because we don't want to damage the base or the crown of the plant. So we're going to dig out about 1 to 2 inches from the base of our plant. Now we can carefully lift our plant. And I'm just removing some of the soil from the roots so that I can show you what the roots look like. And there are a lot of plants here. And if you look carefully, each of these are individual plants. So now that we've dug up our yarrow, let's go ahead and get this divided. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to cut back quite a bit of this chalk growth. And the reason is, since it's later in the year, it's better for the plant to put its energy into root development. This right here is a plant, and if you follow it down, you can see that it is creating not only new growth for next year over here, but those are the roots right over there. So you really can cut anywhere along the bottom here, as long as you have some top growth up here and you have some roots on the bottom. So I can make a cut right here. And there's our plant that we just cut off. Now yarrow grows very quickly, so when I'm going to be potting these up, I'm going to only be putting 1 plant per pot. You could take this plant and you could put this directly in your landscape. So the process I'm going to show you would be the same no matter if you're going to put it in a pot or out in your landscape. I always have pots on hand. I get them for free from a local plant nursery, so I love recycling. We're just going to go ahead and fill this about 3/4 of the way with compost that I have here. And the compost that I'm using is free from a local transfer station. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to place our plant here, and then we're just going to backfill with our soil. And I'm just making sure to push down because I want the roots to have good contact with the soil, and I also want to eliminate any air gaps that are in the pot. And if you look closely, you'll see that there's the bottom of the plant. In fact, there's some new growth happening right there. And that is one plant ready to go. Sometimes with yarrow, you might be able to yank or pull the plant apart as well when it comes to trying to take divisions off of it. So let's try to take a division by pulling it off with this one right here. And there's another division right there. It's really up to you how much you want to divide your yarrow plant. Since I have a backyard plant nursery, it makes sense for me to divide the plants down to single plants because by next spring, when it's time for me to sell these plants, the pots will be full again with yarrow plants because it multiplies that quickly. When I talk about yarrow and dividing yarrow to friends, I like to call it almost like a underground highway system. There's just all these roots that are coming off of the mother plant. Like in this case, here's the mother plant, and there's another plant coming off of it, and the roots are right here. And it's a very easy plant to propagate. Let's face it, gardening is a great hobby. It's a lot of fun, but it can get very expensive. So I've been learning over the last many years how to save money in my garden by propagating my own plants. And one of my goals with my YouTube channel is to teach each of you how to do the same thing. And that's why I'm making videos specifically geared towards individual plants. So if you want to do a search on my YouTube channel on a certain topic, let's say how to start impatiens from seed, you can do that very easily by clicking on the magnifying glass on my YouTube channel, and it would bring you to all the videos that I've ever made having to do with impatiens. I really hope these videos have been helpful for you. I hope that they're inspiring you and giving you lots of ideas. And if you do find this content helpful, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel, and sharing my channel with other people who you think might benefit from my content. Once I'm done potting up all of these yarrow plants, I will be giving them a good drink of water, not only today, but for the next many days. Unless we get some rain, then I don't need to water them. And I just want them to definitely just establish their root system. And by next year, they will be ready to go either for sale, or I can also go shopping in my own backyard plant nursery and take some of these plants and put them in my landscape. I'm done dividing the plants. We got a total of 43 plants, which I think is so great to turn one patch of yarrow into 43 individual plants. By next year, each one of these pots will be filled out into a nice clump of yarrow. So no matter if you're a home gardener that likes to garden as a hobby, just like I've been doing for the last very many years, or if you have some sort of a business where you sell plants, like I've been doing for the last couple of years, dividing your plants is a great way to increase the stock of the plants that you have. And not only that, it is super easy to do. I really hope this video motivated or inspired you in some way. As always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. And until the next video, make it a great day with gardening.